This episode may contain content that could be distressing or objectionable to certain listeners. Please refer to the episode show notes for details. Discretion is advised. Hello! Welcome to Your Movie, My Movie with Dan and Steve.
I'm Dan.
And I'm Steve. This is a podcast where one of us picks a movie and we watch it and discuss it together. In this episode, we'll be talking about one of Dan's picks, the 2013 movie Snowpiercer. Starring Chris Evans, Song Kang-ho, Tilda Swinton, Jamie Bell, Octavia Spencer, Ewan Bremner, Go Ah-sung, Allison Pill, John Hurt, and Ed Harris. Screenplay by Bong, Joon-Ho, and Kelly Masterson, based on the 1982 graphic novel Le Trans-Personnage by Jacques Laube, Benjamin Legrand, and Jean-Marc Rochette, and directed by Bong Joon-Ho. We will be talking about spoilers, so if you want to watch the movie first, now's the time to do so. But before we talk about the movie, Dan, who would you recommend this movie to?
I would recommend this movie to people who want to tear down the damn machine, man.
Mm-hmm.
Who want to escape this broken system. And lovers of action movies.
Okay, interesting.
So, Steve.
Yes.
Who would you recommend this movie for?
Would recommend this movie for... I don't really have a witty one for this. I didn't stop to think about it. I would recommend this movie for... fans of dystopian movies, post-apocalyptic movies, and revolutionary movies.
Fair.
Yeah, especially if you're more into, if you want to explore international genre movies. Because this was a Korean co-production, and it was directed by a South Korean director, and it has South Korean actors in it. So if you would like a gateway into international genre movies, that's relatively recent. I think this would be a really good pick for that too.
That's a great point. Yeah. I picked this movie because, I have a few things to say.
Okay.
First of all, I'm so pissed off because I totally forgot this is a New Year's movie more than anything. I should have picked this as a New Year's movie. I totally forgot about the scene. Okay, did they go through the bridge and they're like, Happy New Year, we're passing the something bridge.
Hold on, I wrote it down because it's a little bit off the wall. And that was the only way that I could remember it. The Yekaterina Bridge.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I'm a little bit mad, but I just didn't remember that part at all. I picked this. I had another Thanksgiving movie in mind, but I was like, I can repurpose that movie because I wanted Sierra to be there for that one because I've been wanting to show her that movie. This movie I just wanted to show you because it's a great movie. I like it, and it goes really well with Soylent Green, which we just watched.
In more ways than one.
In many ways, yeah. And I think like in the Soylent Green episode, I mentioned it, and I said that Snowpiercer borrows a lot from this movie, or take some inspiration from, or
for sure.
Maybe
the themes are so alike.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, what did you think? What did you think of it?
Well, I remember when this movie came out and it was on Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
And back then, early Netflix was a lot like early HBO,
Mm.
where it was apparent that they were just getting whatever movies they could to fill
Right.
their library. And that included movies that may not have been so good.
Yeah.
And so, that's, I was afraid. I was very afraid that Snowpiercer would be one of those movies.
Mm. When were you afraid? Today or
Back then.
Okay.
Back then. Yeah, because it was always on Netflix. It was on there for the longest time.
Yeah.
But then it rotated out.
Mm-hmm.
And then it got put on like Tubi and Pluto. Um, so, but I did pick it up on Blu-ray, but I never watched it. So it's one of those movies where I was always interested in watching it,
Mm-hmm.
but there are always other movies I was more interested in watching instead. Because I got the premise of it.
Right.
So, and I'm at that age where I can guess a lot of what the movie's going to be like just from the trailers.
Yeah.
So yeah. But even so, now that I watched it, it's a really great movie. It's a lot better than I expected it to be. For sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm always nervous. I think that's part of the fun of the show, but I'm always nervous showing movies and
Uh-huh.
showing anyone movies because there's like a risk, of like, because you feel like, wow, this movie is a part of me in a way because I like it so much, and showing it to other people, it can be vulnerable in a way,
Mhm.
And if they don't like it, it's like, well, dang, that sucks. But at the same time, it's like everyone has different.
Well, that's not how I feel at all.
No.
No, because I love showing movies that like I love and are a part of me,
Mm-hmm.
but I give no shits if anybody else likes them.
That's so funny. I don't think I agree with that necessarily because I think you like it when I like a movie that you like.
I do like it, but I also haven't purposely shown you any movies that I think that you may not like.
I see. Okay.
Yeah, which we will
So
get to.
you just pick regardless of what I will think.
Yes,
That's
absolutely.
what you're saying? Okay.
Absolutely.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I respect that.
I mean, I picked Big Jake. I mean, that big crowd pleaser of a movie.
I feel like I should have liked it because I grew up with John Wayne, but it was just not my.
It's okay. It's okay. And Random Hearts. You did not like that one
I
at
did
all.
not like that one. No.
I think is that my pick that you like the least so far?
Probably, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's okay. That's okay.
But I love that episode because we disagree so much. Anyways.
Yeah. And it's okay for us to disagree.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that makes it fun.
Absolutely.
So, this movie, you want to do a rundown of the plot? And then, the plot's pretty basic.
Yeah.
We start with Curtis, who is Chris Evans' character.
Mm-hmm.
Curtis Everett.
Yeah.
And we kind of realize that he's planning something.
Mm-hmm.
He's in the back of this train that goes around the world every year. It's the only bastion of civilization left.
Mm-hmm.
Civilization. Because the whole world has been destroyed because of global warming, and then climate change, and basically a new ice age has happened.
Yeah, but the reason why the new ice age has happened was because they introduced a chemical called CW7, which was supposed to bring the temperatures down after global warming, but it worked too well, and then it caused the new ice age. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so then, last bit of civilization. Curtis is in the last train, the very back, the caboose. I guess
the tail section.
The tail section.
Yeah.
And that is the low class. That is the poor people who are being subjugated by the head of the train, and every other section basically. It's the lowest class, and they get mistreated the most, and they have no rights, and they're basically prisoners. So they form a revolt led by Curtis and Gilliam, who's John Hurt character. And yeah, so their Curtis's goal is to make it all the way to the front section and take over the train. and that's the journey of the movie.
Yeah.
And it's, a progression in physical space as far as they move towards the train as the movie goes along, and they move through the story. It's pretty cool that way.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, what are some of the things you liked about it?
Well, this movie, it's kind of interesting because, there's the movie The Raid.
Okay.
Which is, I believe it's an Indonesian action film. I think it's from Indonesia.
Right.
Okay,
go ahead.
You go ahead.
Is that where they move through parts of the building and like have a crazy fight?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's, if you watch Dredd, it's the same movie except Dredd is sci-fi.
Dredd as in Judge Dredd?
Yes.
Okay,
which is an awesome movie. It's so great.
I haven't seen either of those
one.
two.
We might. Okay, well then I might pull that as a double feature.
Okay, that sounds cool. It sounds like a cool double feature.
Well, Dredd. Well, the funny thing is, Judge Dredd. That was from the 90s, and it has Sylvester Stallone and Armand Asante.
Okay.
And Roy Schneider. Wait. Is it Roy Schneider? No, not Roy Schneider. Gigolo. Hold on.
I love getting your actor tangents. It's so fun.
Yeah.
I might go on a few actor tangents this episode too. So
it's not Roy Schneider because I think Roy Schneider was in Marathon Man and Jaws. It's definitely not that guy. Let's see. Rob Schneider.
Rob Schneider.
Rob Schneider. One letter difference, but what a difference it makes. So yeah, Rob Schneider was also in Judge Dredd. And the thing about Judge Dredd is in the comics he never takes off the helmet.
Right.
But in this, he only wears the helmet at the beginning because, he's Sylvester Stallone. They want people to see them.
Yeah.
And then, that movie was so bad. And then let me look up the information for Dredd.
I know that one of the slow-mo guys, I think Gavin Free.
Okay.
Is it Gavin Free or Dan? I think it's Gavin Free. He's also in Rooster Teeth. He's a YouTuber. He did some of the slow motion shots in the movie.
Oh, neat.
Yeah, he also did some of the shots in Sherlock Holmes 2.
What?
Sherlock Holmes 2.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah.
It's just funny because like I learned that I grew up watching the slow-mo guys when they were like shooting explosions in their backyard, and then just know that he like did Hollywood movies too is pretty cool.
Well, that's a plot point in Dredd, the slow-mo.
Gotcha.
But yeah, Carl Urban plays Judge Dredd, and he never takes off the helmet. And oh my God, he's fucking incredible.
Oh, okay. I think I know. Okay, yeah.
Carl Urban from The Boys now. Yeah. He was also in.
He's in Riddick. He's Okay. Oh yeah. All right. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. He was in Doom.
Doom. Is that the one with The Rock?
Yeah.
I never saw that one, but
yeah.
Okay, there was a it's called the Movie Gallery. Do you know what the Movie Gallery was?
Oh, he's also Leonard McCoy in the new Trek movies.
The new Trek. Oh, okay.
Yeah, with Chris Pine.
Oh, okay. Nice.
Yeah. God, I love Carl Urban. He was also I think he also played like Julius Caesar in Xena Warrior Princess.
Oh, wow.
He's so great. And I'm so sad. That Dredd did not do so well because Judge Dredd was so bad. So when they did the remake of Dredd, nobody thought, nobody went to see it because the first one was so god awful.
Yeah.
But then I saw it and I'm like, oh my God, this movie's incredible. But I didn't see it in the theaters though. I saw it, on home video.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, I want to watch it.
Okay, we'll watch it.
Okay,
we'll watch it sometime. Okay. Anyway.
Anyway.
Oh yeah. So the reason why I brought those movies up is because those are progression movies.
Okay.
Where you
right.
You start at the bottom of a building and then you go up to the top. Well, this is that, but horizontally, where you start at the back and then try to get to the front.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, but this movie, it's not as much of an action movie.
Yeah.
Like
it's more sci-fi.
Well, it has action sequences.
Mm-hmm.
But the movie is not dependent on the action sequences. All the action sequences are there as part of the narrative.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Um. I have a few. I have a lot to talk about randomly.
Okay.
I don't know. Again, I feel like this was a bad Thanksgiving pick, but
It's fine.
whatever. No going back now.
It's fine.
Um. Oh. Have you heard the theory that this is Willy Wonka?
I have not.
Okay, so some people say that this is the story of Willy Wonka and Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Uh-huh.
In the dystopian future. Ed Harris's character, being Willy Wonka character.
Looking for somebody to pass the torch on
Exactly.
to, but he has these kind of torturous test chambers that they have to go through in order to earn the right to it.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, that's very, very fitting.
Yeah. I like that theory. It's fun. I don't know if it was intentional. But also, I mean, thinking about it in that way, just for fun, for a minute, Willy Wonka was also like I think like a British co-production, I think, or something like that, or at least it had a mainly British crew.
Yeah, it was. Hold on, I want to get it right. I think it was written by Roald Dahl.
Yeah, yeah.
Was that the screenplay or the book that it's based off of?
That was definitely the book that it's based on.
Okay,
I don't think he wrote the screenplay.
Okay,
might have, but I highly doubt it.
Okay, so yeah, and that movie is just very European anyway.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can tell, and I think the director was British too. So
anyway, I just think that's another fun similarity between the two movies.
The co-productions.
Yeah.
I
could be completely wrong about that.
Well, about that real quick. So this movie came out in 2013. Oh, 1 second. Sorry, I have.
No worries.
So yeah, about this being a co-production. So yeah, this took place in this was produced and released in 2013. And I remember around that time that's kind of the time when there was kind of a fight between the different film industries in Southeast Asia.
Okay.
For like market share on the international stage.
Interesting.
Yeah. Because the biggest film industries in Asia, they were Japan, the Japanese film industry, and then the Hong Kong film industry. And then there was the handover of Hong Kong from the British to the People's Republic of China.
Okay.
Yeah. So once that happened, the Hong Kong film industry, they had to follow the rules of the PRC.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
Rest in peace.
Yeah. And Hong Kong movies, like most of them were, they did, kung fu movies, but they also did like police thrillers, which they can't do anymore. Because the People's Republic of China will not allow movies about how their own police are corrupt.
Wow.
Yeah. And so the big movie out of China was Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon.
Okay.
And so around that time, that's kind of when the PRC took over Hong Kong. And so that's the reason why we have so many of those kinds of movies coming out from China.
Okay.
Was because Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, like that was an American, it was an Oscar nominated movie.
Yeah.
So they were like, hey, we'll do a lot of movies like that.
I see.
Yeah. So that's how we got, all those movies like House of Flying Daggers.
What are those called?
Wushu movies.
Okay.
Yeah. Or wuxia movies.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. And they were like, well, this is what they want. and it's not set at a time where they can't really criticize the People's Republic of China. Let's do that. What was that one? Hero with Jet Li.
Okay.
That's one that's actually been criticized for being pro PRC.
Oh wow.
Yeah. I don't understand all the symbology of that though.
Okay.
Like I saw it in the theaters. But it's not apparent to me, so I would have to read up on that.
Gotcha.
But yeah. And so the Chinese film industry, they were really, that's what they were doing because that's what was safe. But then it started to not make as much money. They were flooding. They were flooding the market with that. And so around that time, that's when the film industries of other Asian countries started to come to the fore, like Korea, South Korea. With what was it, The Host?
Yes, another film by Bong Joon-Ho.
Yeah, and then Old Boy.
Yeah, I haven't seen that one, but it's on my list.
Oh,
I know.
I got my Blu-ray player, which is region free.
Yeah,
and I got it specifically so I could watch Old Boy because it's out of print here in America. So I had to get an imported copy of it.
Nice.
Only to find out, like recently, they put out a box set, with, a nice 4K box set. But that's okay. I'd rather have the region free player anyway.
Yeah.
So yes.
So we were able to watch Repo Man because it was region locked. My copy.
Oh yeah.
So.
That's right. Yeah, and I also have UK copies of Captain America and the Punisher, but by Canon Films.
Oh, nice. Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, sweet.
Yeah, so there's going to be a couple of comic book movies.
Okay, cool. Cool. Can't wait.
Not MCU though.
Yeah.
Not MCU. So yeah. So that's kind of how I got exposed to, the Asian genre movies, basically.
Yeah.
Post millennium. Yeah.
I would say the most international films I've seen are probably South Korean films. I do have a special place in my heart for that country's films.
Yeah.
I won a few of my picks are gonna be from another South Korean director. So
okay,
I'm excited to show you those. They're much different in tone, but yeah, I love what I've seen of Bong Joon-Ho's movies.
Okay. I picked up Mother.
Nice. I haven't seen that one.
It's an imported copy.
Oh, cool.
But that's because I'm going to do it as a double feature with Mother from Albert Brooks.
Wait, I don't know what the Albert Brooks is. That the one with Jennifer Lawrence?
No.
Not Jennifer Lawrence.
No. That's
yeah.
That's the guy who did Black Swan. He directed it.
Oh, okay.
No. This has got Debbie Reynolds in it.
Okay. There's so many movies called Mother. It's funny.
Yes. Well, these two are very different movies from what I understand. So
yeah.
I
almost picked Okja, which is another Bong Joon-ho movie.
Is that the one about the creature?
Yeah.
Okay. I saw that on Netflix too, and I was like, I don't know about that one.
It's a good one.
Okay.
Anyways. Frick, I don't know. Now I want to talk about the actors real quick.
Okay.
Okay, so we got. It's just funny. I'm never sure the way to do this podcast, but we're whatever.
We can do it however we want to, Dan.
I know. I'm always second guessing and criticizing myself as I'm going, which always makes it worse. But anyways, Chris Evans is great. This is my favorite Chris Evans role ever. I think. I think he's so good in this movie. But
do you want to talk about these actors one by one, or do you want to introduce them all and then talk about them?
I want to just real quick go over them all.
Okay.
In my mind.
Okay.
We got Chris Evans, who was in Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, right?
Yeah, with Alison Pill.
Alison Pill, yes. Yeah. I just thought that was fun. And then also Song Kang-ho is he's in another movie by another director that I really want to show you. The one I was just talking about.
Okay.
I won't say the names because maybe not. No, whatever. Anyways, he's a great actor, and he's probably the most famous South Korean actor that Americans know.
Okay.
just because of his role in Parasite and this and The Host. He's
I
in
haven't seen Parasite.
Okay, well we should watch that one eventually. But
Yeah.
yeah, he's in a lot of Bong Joon-ho's film. He's very good. John Hurt. I just like that he's also 1984 and this, which is cool. Nice little crossover. Rest in peace, John Hurt. I think he passed.
Yeah, he passed
away. Octavia Spencer was cool. It's cool to see her in this movie.
Well, and this wasn't the first movie she's in, because she was in Bad Santa.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I forget what she was in that movie.
She was the hooker sitting outside of the hotel that Willie is at, and then Willie pulls up and he's like, hey, and she's like, fuck you, Willie, the last time you fucked me in the ass I could shit for a week. Or I could shit right for a week.
Oh yeah. Okay, I remember.
And that was her whole role.
I'm glad to see she's getting more recognition now.
Oh, well, yeah. Well, everybody's got to start from somewhere.
Yeah.
Everybody has to start from somewhere.
Oh wait, she's an Academy Award winner.
Yeah.
I forgot about that. I mean, she's amazing, obviously.
Yes.
But it's just fun to see her in those more supporting roles.
Yeah.
Ed Harris is amazing.
In
like everything he's in. I love Ed Harris. He's so good. Yeah. Oh, also, Go E-sung, who plays Yona.
Yeah.
She's also in The Host.
Okay.
Which I think is cool. Anyways, all right, that's all I'm going to say about the actors. They're all really good and great, amazing actors.
Okay.
And Tilda Swinton, of course. And there's a bunch more I'm sure we'll talk about as we go on.
Yeah.
What were you going to say? You were going to say
something. So Chris Evans.
Yeah.
Okay. There's a part.
Okay.
Where let me see. It's near the end of the movie. And this is what he says.
Oh boy.
I know what people taste like. I know that babies taste best.
Yes. The most legendary line of this movie. It's so good. It's so good.
Well, the thing is like that line. If this was a lesser movie.
Yeah.
And if lesser acting was done.
Exactly. Yes. I was hoping you wouldn't laugh at it. But I do. When I first watched this movie, I was like,
yeah. Yeah.
It's like a jaw-dropping moment.
Yeah.
But it is crazy.
Yeah.
It's a crazy sentence to say.
Well, I mean, so I just want to,
go for it.
He's a great actor because he was able to, do those lines, and he was able to sell it, and he sold it well. He sold it well.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah. So good on him. And we will be watching one. Oh God, I can't wait to get to it. We will be watching one movie where that kind of stuff happens, but it's not treated nearly with as much respect. So, and
Soylent Green is people.
Well, okay.
Sorry.
No, that's fair. And because like the movie, when the movie starts, and they take Timmy and Andrew's son.
Yeah.
And so, and that's one of the things that kind of spurs the Tau section to action is getting them back.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, oh no, what do they want those kids for? And then later on, they capture Minister Mason, played by Tilda Swinton, and she says, "So the train, the leader of the train is this guy named Wilford." And she goes, "Well, Wilford likes little kids."
Yes.
I'm like, "Oh no!"
Produced by the Weinstein Company.
Yeah, yeah. But then, Curtis, played by Chris Evans, he says, I know what people taste like. I know that babies taste the best. And I'm like, wait, Wilford likes little kids. Oh no.
He's eating them.
Yeah.
Is that what you thought?
Yes.
That's fair.
Because when Curtis goes in to meet Ed Harris, Wilford, played by Ed Harris, he's cooking a steak, and I'm like, oh no. Curtis, he's talking about that he knows what babies taste like. Is he gonna eat the steak? He knows it tastes.
Whoa, that would be crazy. That would be insane. Oh, you're a sick genius. That's beautiful.
Yeah, oh no, what's gonna happen here? What's gonna happen here? But no, I watched too many movies and they didn't take it in that direction. So, and I know how crazy and intense South Korean movies can get because I watched Old Boy. So that's a very intense movie. That's a very intense movie.
I've definitely heard about it.
We'll watch it. We'll watch it for sure. Yeah,
it's on my list.
Okay, wonderful. So other acting.
Oh, like performances?
Yeah. Well, like Ed Harris.
Yeah.
What he kind of reminds me of is the architect in Matrix, the second Matrix movie.
Okay.
Because they were trying to get to that place all along, and they go through all the challenges to get there, and it's there that they learn the horrendous truth. But then he tries to convince the hero, the hero who's trying to bring him down. He's trying to convince him to
join me.
Yeah, become a part of the system instead of fighting it.
Right.
And so, yeah, that's what Ed Harris's performance really reminds me of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've seen the second Matrix in its full.
Really?
I don't know. I've seen parts of all the Matrix. I've seen the Matrix 1, the first one.
Okay.
Like multiple times.
Okay.
But I've seen bits and pieces of the other two.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't know.
Well, oh man. Well, yeah, but oh god. Well, The Matrix is great. Like, it's just great. And like what I want to do is I want to do a little marathon of movies that are like The Matrix but aren't The Matrix. Like Existence by David Cronenberg. And some other ones too. And some of them that even probably inspired The Matrix. So I really want to watch those. But the thing is I love Matrix 4. And Matrix 4 is a movie.
Wait, the Animatrix?
No. The Animatrix is the Animatrix. I'm talking about the Matrix 4 that recently came out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I can't remember the little whatever behind the Matrix for the sequel, so I just say Matrix 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Okay.
But yeah, Matrix. And I fucking love that movie. That movie is fucking genius. But people either hate it or they love it. Okay. But I fucking love it because, oh my God, it's so great. But I don't know. You might have to watch 2 and 3 to get it. But I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't know.
The one with Neil Patrick Harris.
Does it have? Oh yeah, that's right. It does, doesn't it? Yeah, he plays the architect at the end, right?
I don't know. I haven't seen it.
God, I'll have to watch that movie again. But there's a fuck up with my Mac subscription. So because my parents, they have it on cable, which allows us to stream it, but it's been acting weird. So yeah.
Anyways,
not Neil Patrick Harris, Ed Harris.
Yeah.
Different Harrises. Like the architect from The Matrix 2.
He plays almost like a devil character in this. It's so interesting, like the tempter in the end.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's when Curtis has lost all hope, and we learn that Gilliam has been a traitor the whole time.
Yeah.
Gilliam is such an interesting character to me. Okay, well, again, this movie, it felt different watching it this time. Again, maybe because I was like, oh no, I wonder what Steve's thinking about it. But the ending was a little bit crazy to me this time around. For some reason, it was more. It took me out of it more than it has previous watch throughs. Just because of the amount of stuff that happens in the end,
Yeah.
The amount of stuff we learn, the amount of learning we do, and explaining that happens. Anyways, it was the least enjoyable part of the movie this time around watching it.
I can see that.
But I still love this movie. I still think it's an amazing movie.
It has a twist, but the twist isn't mind explosive.
Yeah.
The Sixth Sense would be. The twist from that movie would be.
Yeah.
So
it doesn't. I don't think the twist is what bothers me about it. necessarily.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, Gilliam's character,
Mm-hmm.
really fascinating. And like you always wonder with his character, like how much is genuine, how much does he care
Mm-hmm.
about the lower class, back of the train, the tail of the train, and how much is he actually part of Wilford's systems, you
Okay,
know?
we've got to watch. We've got to watch the Matrix and the sequels
Mm.
because that kind of stuff
Mm-hmm.
happens in those two.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
well, in this movie,
Uh-huh.
that's an interesting thing to think about
Mm-hmm.
because if you watch it, like I'm sure you might have guessed that. Did you guess that Gilliam was a traitor?
No.
No?
No.
Okay. If
I
you
mean, the only thing that I thought was weird
yeah.
was when so Curtis and his group,
Mm-hmm.
they make it like pretty far. They got to the education car.
Yeah.
Okay, and then there was that guy who handed out boiled eggs.
Yeah.
And he went all the way back to the tail section,
Mm-hmm.
and then handed them out, and then he pulled out his gun, and then he killed a lot of people in the tail section.
Yeah.
As Alison Pill, the teacher, started shooting, Curtis and his group. But also back there was like the brutal killer guy.
Mm-hmm.
Where he was in on the killing too, and he had his own assault rifle, and then we have that sequence where he's at the tail end of the train and he's shooting at Curtis through the window, who's very far ahead, but because the curves of the track, they're able, they're in each other's line of sight.
Yeah.
And so they start shooting at each other, but they can't hit each other because the window's too thick.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, how did he get back there? But missed Curtis.
Interesting.
Yeah. So I don't know if he was like a plant.
You're talking about the guy in the suit?
Yeah, the guy in the suit.
Oh.
Like, how did he get back there, and how was he back there before Curtis moved forward? If he was after Curtis.
He had passed Curtis already, I think.
Okay.
And he was going to the tail section to do the slaughtering.
Okay. Well, that makes sense now because they didn't want Curtis dead anyway.
Yeah.
So that makes sense.
Which is interesting though, because he seemed almost like a rogue agent.
Yeah, he just wanted to kill people.
Yeah.
Which is kind of cool. And that sequence in like the bathhouse section where he goes in with the two other guards.
Yeah.
And then he shoots like a random guy who's in a little spa. Like a one person spa.
Yeah.
He shoots the door. He's like, "Hey, that was a member of the economy, that was a member of the front section." And so he shoots that soldier, and then he turns around and tries to shoot the other guy. He's like, I'm not going to say a word, but he tries to shoot him anyway, but he ran out of bullets.
Mm-hmm.
So he's like, "Hey, I'm not going to do anything." So he grabs the soldier's gun, the dead soldier's gun, and shoots him. Yeah. And then starts shooting everybody.
Yeah.
So, and that sequence, it reminds me a lot of the Old Boy fight sequence. Which is like, it's one of those things that once you see it, you want to try to do it too. Like the Daredevil TV show on Netflix.
Yeah.
They did an obvious homage to it. And it's just brutal. And so this was like very similar to it because, it wasn't a spectacle of a fight scene like what we saw before with the axes.
Yes, the axe fight.
Yeah. During the bridge sequence. It wasn't that kind of spectacle. This was brutal. It was small, very enclosed, very few people. But that's what made it all the more intense.
Yeah.
So yeah.
This movie is so intense.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just like that it has stakes too. Like people that you actually care about die and get hurt, and I don't know. Like just the axe scene. Knife fights and axe fights and like bladed fights in movies are just different, and they are like a whole nother level of intensity to me because you can imagine it more, almost. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? You can empathize with, like, you're just imagining an axe cutting into your arm or leg.
It's a lot more visceral.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Mhm. And personal.
Yes.
Yeah.
Have
you seen Gangs of New York?
No.
Okay. Okay.
Do you like it?
Um,
Martin Scorsese.
I know it's my friend Marty. It's okay. It's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Okay.
It's okay. It's not Casino, but
Do you like Casino?
I love Casino.
Okay.
Casino is probably my favorite Marty Scorsese movie. Tied with Shutter Island.
You're insane.
I am. I am. I am.
We're gonna watch a Martin Scorsese movie.
We will.
And I'm gonna make you like it.
Okay. Well, I like his movies. I mean, as I said, the worst Martin Scorsese movie is better than the best movie from most other filmmakers.
Okay.
So, in Casino, it always makes me think of Blueberry Muffins.
Blue what?
Blueberry Muffins. Have you seen Casino?
No, I haven't.
He goes, I want an equal number of blueberries in every blueberry muffin.
Oh, okay.
I think about that all the time.
That's like a Larry David bit.
I know. It makes sense in context.
I got
you. Yeah. Okay.
But
yeah, visceral. And the cool thing about that sequence is that all of the bad guys with the axes, they wear the masks that only show their mouth.
Yeah.
So it's very dehumanizing of them.
Absolutely. It's so scary.
Yeah. On one hand, you don't see their faces, so you can't put a personality to them. But by showing their mouths, they can express the brutality and, other villainous expressions, which make it easier for, to root against them and, root for their death.
Yeah.
When I think about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just back to the Gilliam character, because I think he's really interesting. There's a few quotes. Whenever Curtis is talking about Edgar, Edgar is kind of like Curtis's right-hand man.
Yeah, played by Jamie Bell.
He's a younger guy.
Of Fantastic fame. He was also in, oh my God. He was
King
also...
Kong. Rocket Man.
No, well, he was in another movie with Michael B. Jordan. The
Billy Elliot.
No. It came out like just a few years ago.
Without Remorse.
That's it. It's the Jack Ryan adjacent movie to set up the TV show or movies for Rainbow Six.
Okay.
Yeah, I saw it. It's pretty. It's an okay movie.
Okay.
Yeah, it's fun if you like military dad movie thrillers.
Okay.
So yeah.
So that character is talking. Gilliam is talking about how much Edgar looks up to him. And Curtis is uncomfortable with that. Because Curtis is uncomfortable with being a leader because of his dark past.
Yeah.
And he doesn't think that he has survivor's guilt. And war crime guilt.
Yeah, it's more war crime guilt than
Cannibal
survivor's
guilt.
Yeah, because he was the leader of the cannibals who were eating babies.
Yeah.
and Edgar was the baby that he was going to eat.
Yes.
So all of this is a redemption arc for him.
Absolutely.
Essentially.
Yes.
Yeah.
But Edgar says, oh no, so not Edgar. Curtis says, "I'm not who he thinks thinks I am." And John Hurt's character says, few of us are.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And there's a lot of other hints, because basically everything Gilliam is trying to do is talk him out of it almost the whole time.
Yeah, you're right, because of the deal that Gilliam made with Wilford. Yes. But Curtis doesn't know that.
No, definitely not.
And, he just wants to win. So, yeah.
And that's also why Gilliam tells Curtis to not let the conductor talk.
Oh.
He says cut out his tongue.
That's right.
Which I just think is interesting.
Yeah.
Because, okay, so he's got to feel some regret. And he can't be all bad, because in the end we find out that he gave up his arm to save people, Gilliam. And he gave up parts of his legs and stuff to feed to people. And he started that sort of revolution of other people doing the same.
Yeah.
this movie does a really great job of just building in history and layers
Mm-hmm.
into the story and the world. One thing I also want to talk about is the production design.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like it's amazing.
Well,
It's-
that's. I would bet money that that's from the French. That's influenced from the French graphic novel.
I would bet
For
so
sure.
as well.
Because I'm a comic book guy.
Uh-huh.
Not just American comic books.
Mm-hmm.
But from all over the world, and the French.
Mm-hmm.
Their comic books can be crazier than those from Japan. And that's all I'm going to say.
Yeah.
They let their imagination fly off the page.
Are
when
you
it comes
talking
to comic
about
books.
production design or just
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I think it's amazing.
Mm-hmm. This isn't the craziest thing I've seen, inspired by French comics.
Yeah. I don't doubt it.
But it's really cool. Like, it's very innovative,
Uh-huh.
very original. Yeah, very creative. Yeah.
I always love in dystopian films
Mm-hmm.
the rebuilding of society in their own environments and confines.
Mm-hmm.
So like we have the historian who's the artist who draws paintings of historical events,
Mm-hmm.
who draws pictures of the children who get taken.
Well, the funny thing about that is,
Uh-huh.
like, what that reminds me of is, because, like, when did it start? Like, in the mid 2000s?
Well, it started 17 or 18 years before the movie begins,
Okay,
and the movie takes place in AD 2031.
2031. So 17 years before that. So 20 years before that would
Don't
be
make me do math.
2011. Yeah, it's 2011. So maybe when the year this came out, I think, like
Probably.
2013.
Yeah.
So smartphones were a thing.
Yeah.
So that guy's a replacement for the smartphone and taking selfies. You know what I mean?
Okay, sure. Well, he's a replacement for photography for cameras.
Yeah.
Come
But I
on.
mean, specifically like selfies and that stuff.
Okay.
Yeah,
I guess.
yeah.
Okay.
That's what I was thinking of. You know,
Okay. Anyways,
because I mean, for things like that, the first thing that comes to mind is you don't draw a picture of it, or you don't draw pictures of mundane things like that.
yeah.
You save it for special occasions.
Yeah.
But because people are so used to selfies and taking, remembering mundane things like that,
hmm
you drew those.
But they weren't mundane necessarily.
But I could be wrong about that
I'm
too.
so confused. This is such a weird comparison to me.
Okay.
There's a lot of characters in dystopian.
Damn you kids.
Okay,
Damn you kids.
That's the reasoning behind this.
Well, not really, but I mean,
Okay.
that's what I was thinking about.
Anyways,
Anyways,
the world building.
world building.
I also just like the.
But also, I know that like French and Dutch artists,
Uh-huh.
they would do those candid paintings of, like, women washing their hands too. So there's that as well. There's also a history of art of mundane settings because of the relatability.
Okay. Yeah.
So I'm not just an old man.
I'm
and maybe
so
it's not-
lost right now.
Okay.
What are you talking about? People draw paintings of everything.
Okay, I know.
And he also draws paintings of important things, like the moments when.
Yeah. Okay. I'm fine. I'm wrong. You can move on.
I don't even know if you are wrong. I'm not saying that. I'm just so
Okay.
confused by what you're talking about.
Okay. Okay.
You can keep talking about it, but
we don't have to. We don't have to. We don't have to.
All right. Are you done with this bit?
For now.
Okay.
It might come back later. We'll see.
I'm not against this bit. I'm just confused by it.
Okay. You're allowed to be. That's fine.
Okay.
Okay. Moving on.
God. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Okay.
Good.
All right.
Okay.
I hate you.
I love you.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
All right. Okay. I love the history of it, building of it, the random details.
Yeah.
The yellow raincoat girl or yellow coat girl who
Claude, I believe her name is.
Yes. Who just measures stuff
Yeah.
compulsively. But also for a reason.
Yeah, we
which
find out why.
Yet.
Yeah.
She's really interesting. I love that there are just people who have specific roles. That's another form of like really controlled society, is that one person has one specific role. They fit in this machine. That's their only reason for being.
Well, that's the whole theme of the movie.
Yes.
Is that, everybody has a place and everybody should stay in their place so that the order of the society they live in can continue on and thrive. Yeah.
And we get that illustrated wonderfully. A little on the nose, but I think it's a great.
They're a little on the nose.
Okay, yes, very on the nose. This whole movie is very on the nose.
There's a TV show. It's called Garth Marenghi's Dark Place.
I love that show.
I haven't seen all of it, but I saw a clip from it that I think is probably the most important in all of the
You should watch all of it.
I'll try to get through it. It's a little tough because it's so bad on purpose, but anyway, one of the quotes from it, and I think about it all the time, is I know writers who use subtext and they're all cowards.
Yes.
And this is a movie that reminds me of that. Yeah.
There is subtext in this movie, though.
I mean, no. I mean, it's not a bad thing, some anvils need to be dropped,
Okay.
Sometimes you can't use subtext because people are so fucking dense that they don't pick up on it. So, when that happens, you have to be blatant about what you're saying.
I don't think subtlety is one of Bong Joon-Ho's
strong
suits. He has a lot of strong suits.
Right. Well, sometimes you don't need subtlety. I mean, just say what you're fucking saying, know? That's valid too and necessary for a lot of audiences.
I think, I just think that Bong Joon-Ho is an interesting director because I think he's like the perfect, like you were saying, bridge for American audiences because he has, I would say, American sensibilities in his film. As far as almost all of them that I've seen, which I haven't, but they feel like blockbusters.
Okay.
They feel like massive, like movies for wide audiences that almost everyone can enjoy and love. And I don't think that's a bad thing. That's just, I think that's the type of filmmaker he is.
Well, Akira Kurosawa is one of those filmmakers.
Yeah, and I mean Steven Spielberg is one of those filmmakers.
Yeah.
That's who a lot of people say the greatest filmmakers are, and I don't necessarily disagree, but they're not always my favorite types of movies. But,
well, it's something to talk about.
Yeah. Anyways, I just think that's. I don't remember why I brought that up, but.
Well, I mean, it also suits because this is a co-production, and a lot of his movies, like crossed over. Like even before, what was it? Parasite. The Host crossed over.
The Host?
Yeah. Over? Well, through streaming.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, Okja has a lot of American people in it too.
Yeah, that's right too, and that was put on Netflix.
Well,
as
actually, that was after. Sorry.
Oh well, but even so, you know. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So. I got off track. Sorry. Anyways, that's a note for filmmakers and writers, I guess, out there. I'm talking about world building again. Is build layers, build history into your world.
Yeah, for
because
sure.
Because it makes it so much more interesting and rich. I think it elevates your story. You don't have to comment on everything. It doesn't all have to tie in. But if the characters know what's going on, if the characters have a history, then it makes it more real to them.
Yeah. If you incorporate the history and the character dynamics between them, it will become apparent. Like it only enhances the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
as long as you don't get bogged down in it and explaining it all.
Yeah.
And
Some things don't
focusing
need
too much
to be
on it.
explained. Yeah.
Another great example of this is I mean I don't know the exact meaning of it, but the food car operator, the guy who's he kind of like went crazy and like
Yeah.
he's obsessed with only doing his job, and he's also having to do things manually because other things have gone awry.
Which is part of the setup for the payoff at the
Yeah.
end of the movie.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But also just that history of he was one of the back tail section people, and it's just interesting.
They promoted him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. This
Oh my God.
what's up?
When they showed what the protein
Yes.
blocks were made of. Well, I was, Wilford likes kids.
Yeah. Yeah.
So-
right.
Is that a vat of babies in there?
It's not quite as dramatic as Soylent Green. It's only cockroaches.
Well, okay.
All
Let's
right.
talk about that.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Because that's kind of a thing.
What?
The cockroaches used as food.
Yes.
Because, like, what they're trying to promote now for protein is using insects. Like raising insects to be processed as food stuff. And it's to like avoid climate change, because raising cows and pigs and chickens, there's it causes a lot of carbon emissions.
Right.
So they're saying that to feed people, we should move to
eating more insects.
Yeah. So, it shows because, sorry, I'm getting mad. I'm getting mad about this because, there's too many carbon emissions for it. So what they want to do is what they do in this movie, which is have cricket made protein, or cockroach made protein bars for the masses, the poor masses, while actual food, farm raised beef and pork and chicken will be luxuries that only the ultra wealthy can afford. So food as a class item.
I'm not for that, but I am okay with, insects as a protein part of people's diet.
I am too, but I know it's going to become a class thing. Is the thing. And they're going to push for us to take that crap so that they can have more of what's more natural to us. Yeah. Although you can make the argument of how natural cows and pigs and chickens are, but we've been doing it for thousands of years.
Yeah.
As opposed to crickets, so.
But people eat crickets still too. So.
Yeah, sure.
But I know what you're saying. The divide of only the wealthy will get it.
Yeah, as resources become more scarce, the wealthy will want more of those luxury items, whereas we get the Soylent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, another this is just my perspective on the movie, but like this movie is, at least slightly hopeful, kind of.
Yeah. Yeah.
It ends with a sort of renewing ending.
Yeah.
And okay, this is not my I don't know anything about science either. I'm not smart and stuff and knowledgeable. But, that's my hope, that global warming will like reverse after a while and like cause another ice age. And so maybe someone will survive through the ice age. Not that humanity necessarily needs to survive, but anyways.
Well, yeah, we find out that one of the women who was part of the Revolt of the Seven, which was the first revolt, was an Inuit woman. And she was like, yeah, you can survive in this kind of environment. And, they said it was 7, but I counted them, and I counted them several times, and I only saw 5.
Okay, I thought there was less than 7 too.
Yeah.
Huh, weird.
And, who is it? Namgung Samsu. He's the one, he was a security expert, and like he said, yeah, she taught me about all the different kinds of snow. And then he said that he noticed that the snows were melting. And then at the very end, the train is derailed, and Yuna comes out and she sees a polar bear.
Yeah.
Yeah, she sees a polar bear, And so it's like, yeah, life can exist in these kind of conditions.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, it is very hopeful, but on the other hand, it's a polar bear.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so funny because, okay, I heard about this movie.
Mm-hmm.
So I watched this movie, and then I realized that my brother had told me about this movie
Uh-huh.
and how much he hated it.
Really?
Yeah. Which is well, my brother is strange. He's not really a big movie person.
Okay.
I love my brother.
Uh-huh.
But we don't agree on movies
Uh-huh.
at all. He was like, yeah, I watched this terrible 2-hour-long movie, and it was so dumb because at the end of it, like, everybody died, and it was all so pointless. And like, I was like, what is the point of this? Oh, and there's like stupid. It's just like, I watched it and I was like, this is the movie he was talking about, because I watched it the first time. I was like blown away by it. It's just a funny story. Haha, very funny.
So is he a guy who always needs a happy ending for his movies?
Well, he just strange. He doesn't really like movies that much. So the only movies that he likes are like action movies that have like really cool strategy plot points and like really cool fight scenes, or like characters who have like a really cool master plan that pays off in the end,
like Ocean's 11.
Yeah, but like more like badass movies. That's the type of movies he likes. Okay. He likes like Gladiator and like
Troy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You could call them
Braveheart
dad movies.
Okay.
Patriot.
Oh, well, I love the Patriot.
I haven't seen the Patriot, but like war movies and that kind of.
We're gonna watch the Patriot.
Steven is flopping his arms by his sides, jumping up and down in his seat right now.
I love the Patriot. Oh my god. I just love the Patriot.
I haven't seen it, so I'm worried by this reaction.
Don't be too worried. Anyways. Have you seen Braveheart?
No.
The Patriot is the spiritual sequel to Braveheart.
That makes sense.
So imagine just Braveheart in like during the American Revolution, and you've got it. But it's also got Heath Ledger in it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and Jason Isaacs, the perpetual British bad guy that he is.
I don't remember Jason Isaacs.
Oh my god. Oh well, he played Draco Malfoy's father in Harry Potter, but you haven't seen the Harry Potter movies, have you?
No.
He was in Star Trek Discovery during the first season, where he doesn't play quite such a villain.
This is my favorite bit of our podcast.
Or I talk about these actors that you have no idea who they are.
And these movies that I have no idea.
That everybody else in the world knows.
Yeah. That's kind of my thing.
Yeah, it is kind of your thing. That is true. Anyway.
One day I'll watch the Harry Potter movies and all of these.
I will not show you the Harry Potter movies. You don't have to watch them on my account.
Okay.
The Patriot. Yeah. And spiritual sequel to Braveheart. Yeah.
Anyways.
And We Were Soldiers is kind of a spiritual sequel to The Patriot.
Yeah, my brother likes that movie too.
Oh, I love that movie. But like I like to fast forward through like the parts with the women.
I don't know what that movie. I've never seen
like the war stuff in that movie.
Okay.
Yeah. That movie's great for that kind of stuff.
You heard it here. Steven's fast forwards all the ladies' parts.
Well, in war movies I do.
I'm just kidding.
Oh, I'm not.
Okay.
But I mean, like, but the women's part in that, it's so stupid because it takes place in like the 1960s or in Vietnam, and like they're part of the South. And this black woman, what it was is like it's this woman who's married to a lieutenant, so she just shows up.
Oh, and all she does is worry about her husband.
No. This is before that.
Okay.
She's like, yeah, but I saw there was a water fountain, but it said whites only. So she's a woman. She's an adult woman who lives in the United States during the 1960s. And she has no idea that segregation is going on at all. It's like, okay. You're laying it on kind of thick there. But he does kind of the same thing in The Patriot, which is even more ludicrous. But okay, Mel. That's kind of why I like those movies. Like, I can just tell where it's just Mel, because like there's a part where he plays a colonel and he's married, and they have like 5 children, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he's a Catholic, but his wife is not.
Mm-hmm.
So like the 4 children are Catholic, but like the youngest, wants to not be Catholic
Mm-hmm.
when she says her prayers. And so it's a whole thing. Because Mel Gibson is very Catholic.
He's very Catholic. I know.
So that's kind of why I like to watch this. So yeah.
Nice.
Okay, back to Snowpiercer.
Yeah, back to Snowpiercer. Nam's introduction as a character is great. I like it. They just like pull him out of this morgue type prison.
Oh yeah.
And like wake him up with the drug.
Mm-hmm. That's very cool. And I like the kind of twist that they do with the drug that's industrial waste.
Yeah, I like that twist too.
Yeah. Did not see that coming.
It's cool, right?
It's great.
I love that.
Yeah.
And okay, again, that's another thing about this movie that's cool is like the intentions are interesting. What motivates the character?
Yeah.
Is rich. Interesting.
Very. Well, filmmaker tip. The reason why it's so engrossing is because we don't know until it becomes relevant.
Yes.
So don't explain things until, like set up.
Yeah.
Set up for it, but don't tell the audience until they have to know.
Yeah.
And they'll be wowed every time.
Great point.
Yeah.
Okay, this is just a performance thing, but I just love Tilda Swinton's performance in this movie. I love Tilda Swinton. And
she had fun on set. You can tell she had fun on set.
She had so much fun, and I love that for her.
Well, she's such a great actor.
I love Tilda Swinton.
She's such a great actor that she knows how to do it.
Gosh.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
This will not be the last Tilda Swinton movie.
Oh, no, absolutely not.
No.
She was in Constantine.
Okay. I've seen part of that movie. I fell asleep halfway through because I was really tired.
That's fair. Yeah, she plays an angel.
Nice.
Yeah.
She's been in a lot of stuff. She's been in another movie that I really want to show you that okay, she's a friends, I don't know if friends with, but she's in a lot of Jim Jarmusch movies.
Okay.
Especially his mid to later ones.
Okay. Wasn't she the one with
Tom Hiddleston?
Yeah, about the vampires, the only lovers left alive?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. I wouldn't mind seeing that sometime.
I would love to show it to you. We'll probably do a Jim Jarmusch marathon because I am a fanboy.
And I can't. And I gotta watch Ghost Dog.
Oh yeah, Ghost Dog. Yeah. Can that be your pick in the marathon?
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
Oh, it doesn't have to be. Whatever.
No. I'll pick Ghost Dog.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
I never want marathons to go on for too long.
Yeah. That's fine.
But I could watch like all of them.
I understand.
Anyways, suckled the generous titty of Wilf.
Yeah.
I love that.
She hands it up with her Scottish accent.
Yeah. I forget. Is she Scottish or something?
I don't know.
British?
I know she's British,
okay.
But I don't know if she's English or Scottish.
Well, she's great.
Yeah.
No matter what.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, she's British.
Okay. But British could be English, Scottish, Welsh, or
Welsh.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So.
Okay. Yeah, she's great.
Yeah.
She's also in Okja.
Okay.
I think I already said that.
Okay.
Okay. I also like that aspect of controlling the population is. But anyways.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm looking through my notes, trying speed run. Not speed run necessarily. Get to all the important things. I think he does an amazing job, Bong Joon-Ho, of just visual storytelling.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's so wonderfully done in this movie. And just it's one of the marks of a great director.
Yeah.
One of the things that I remember that I wrote down specifically to talk about this is after the axe battle, we get these slashes of light from, I guess, breaks in the tunnel or something.
Yeah.
Um,
The light coming into the windows because there are bricks in the tunnel.
yes, and it just goes over people's eyes.
Mm-hmm.
In like a sweeping motion.
Yeah.
And it's just gorgeous. But it's beautiful because I don't know how to describe it. I'm gonna try. It goes over like a dead guy's face, and you just see these glassy eyes. You just know that he's dead,
Mm-hmm.
and it's that eeriness. It goes over just the eyes of someone in fear. I think it's maybe Edgar. It goes over Curtis's eyes, and you just see like determination, panic, and just all these emotions just in like one eye at a time being shown. And that's just a great visual idea.
Yeah.
That evokes so much emotion.
Yeah.
Just wonderful.
Letting actors express things without dialogue.
Yeah.
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 Which
And
Chris Evans does very well in this movie.
I think it's his best role.
Yeah.
It's his best role.
Yeah.
I wish he would do so many more of these types of movies.
I don't know if it's his best role, but it's definitely up there with his best acting.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair. Okay. What do you think is his best role?
Well, I haven't seen a lot of other movies with Chris Evans.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think like the only other one I've seen. Well, I mean, I saw Scott.
Scott Pilgrim.
Scott Pilgrim, and then I also saw Knives Out, and he was fun in Knives Out.
He's great in Knives Out. I love him in Knives Out.
No, his acting isn't very strong. He's really hamming it up.
Yeah.
But it's also a fun role.
He does what he needs to do. I think he does fine.
Yeah. I mean, you can tell like when he's ad-libbing and having fun, like acting like a jerk in that movie is what I mean. Like you can tell when he's acting.
Yeah.
But he's also acting out of character. You know what I mean? Like
that's fair.
He's acting away from the roles people know him for.
Mm-hmm.
And so I can tell he's having a great time doing that. So that's why, it's fun to watch him in Knives Out.
Have you seen Sunshine?
No, but I know I need to.
He's great in that. I want to show you that to you.
Okay.
That's a fun one.
Was that before he was Captain America?
It's 2007, so yeah, I think.
Okay, yeah. I think Iron Man was 2008. So yeah. Okay. Oh!
He was in Fantastic Four.
He wasn't that, but he's also in Push. And we're going to watch Push at some point. Yeah.
Okay, there's a lot of other movies there's one other movie that he's in that I want to show it to you.
Push is fun.
Okay, I'm looking at it right now. It looks cool.
Yeah. It's what I call a crypto comic book movie.
Okay.
You can tell it was inspired by comic book, but it's not like actual comic books. And because it's about psychics. Well, it's not about psychic. Well, we'll get
telekinetic powers.
He has telekinesis, but there are other powers involved too.
Okay.
But they don't become superheroes. So it feels more like a spiritual successor from Scanners than anything else.
Which I haven't.
You might watch that. David Cronenberg.
No. Okay. Cool.
Okay.
Chris Evans is great.
Yeah, he's great.
He's also in Gifted, which is it's a bit of a cheesy drama, but he does great in that.
Okay.
Anyways.
Is that where he plays like a single dad?
Yes.
Okay. Well, that's all I know about that movie.
It's basically all I need to know.
Okay.
He's the dad, or I don't know if he's the dad or older brother character, but whatever.
Mm-hmm.
He's
a father figure, nevertheless.
Or a gifted child.
Okay.
I also like the lore that they build around the engine. The engine is God. The engine is eternal. The engine is divine.
Yeah.
And they have these songs about it, almost to make it almost like a religion or proto-religion or whatever.
Well,
control.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes, they do it as a form of control so that everybody will feel invested in the system, so that they can allow the system to continue and perpetuate. And that's the conflict that Curtis gets with
Minister Mason?
No. Nom?
Nom.
Okay, Nom. Okay. Yeah, and that's a conflict that Curtis gets in with Nom at the end. because what Curtis wants to do is he wants the train to continue, but he wants to lead it, and he wants it to be more equitable. Whereas Nam wants to totally destroy the system and take their chances outside.
Yeah.
So, there's kind of a matrixy thing, about that. And differences as far as revolutionary ends are concerned. Like, why are you having this revolution? Is it so that you can just take over? Or is it so that you can destroy the system and allow something new instead?
Yeah.
So,
which is an interesting question.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bong Joon-Ho's movies are political. Very political at their core too. He's very critical of America and the host. And in this movie too, I would say. Although not as direct.
Well, I don't think just America. I mean,
no, yeah.
Just a capitalist system in general.
Yeah, I think it's capitalism.
Because South America. Because South Korea is having its own class warfare right now.
I mean, that's Parasite through and through, yeah.
Because they're trying to tell there's a population crisis. Well, there's kind of a population crisis in all developed countries right now where people aren't having babies. But how can we when we're not being paid anything?
Yeah.
And that's a real big problem in South Korea. So, yeah.
And some people think we're moving toward overpopulation. So,
well, it's like I said in the last podcast, if you take the projections of the baby boomers, yeah, that's a problem. But, if we can't afford to have children, to take care of children, well, that fear of overpopulation isn't necessarily a thing. What's more of a thing is that developed countries want more of the middle class luxuries that we in the United States and Europe have. I heard about this a few years ago where, the People's Republic of China, they transitioned from an internal rural based economy to a more middle class, industrial and service based economy. And now what they want more of is, they want more pork. They don't want just, the carbs and vegetables, that a farm worker would get. They also want, pork and, other things like that. And that's what's causing, so more pigs needs to be raised, which means we need to clear more farmland for that, which also causes more carbon emissions. And so that's kind of the problem right now. It's not overpopulation. It's countries with developing economies wanting the things of the middle class. So, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
And this is the part of the podcast where we all get to pray.
Well,
that's about Okja too. We should watch Okja eventually.
Okay.
Because it's about a spoilers for Okja maybe?
No, don't tell me.
Okay, all right, never mind.
Yeah.
Okay, so that religion aspect is interesting. Although I think a little bit of a weak part of the script is that it hasn't been long enough for that to set in.
Yeah.
Super well.
Yeah,
17 years is not.
Yeah, if you're a train baby, as they call them, that will work on you. But the generation that remembers what it was like before, they're still around.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you on that.
Oh. It's also just a heightened movie. The characters don't necessarily act how they would act in real life. They act how they would act in this world. Like the higher class is kind of mind numbed in a weird way. Like they don't react to the people moving through the train. And also the train government doesn't pull people out, even though they know that the lower class is coming. But that could be because they've planned the revolt. But it's just a little weird, the decisions and behaviors of the upper class. Like they leave the the sushi guy to still make sushi for everyone.
Yeah, but what did the sushi guy do? You know what I mean?
What do you mean?
Like, he didn't kill anybody, you know? I mean, it's not his fault.
No, yeah, I know. You're saying that they won't kill him because he didn't do anything wrong?
Yeah, and he's not going to stop him. He's a sushi guy. He's not a security guy.
Yeah. I just thought that was a little weird. And the kids, the kids' train car is a little weird that they had the kids, they didn't pull the kids out.
There's a thing. It's called it's from the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy books.
Okay.
And they don't have invisibility technology.
Mm-hmm.
Instead, what they use is it's a field, and it generates a field that makes people think that's not my problem. So they just totally ignore it.
Yeah.
It's like, well, there's people with armed guns, passing by. Well, they're not messing with me, so it's not my problem.
I love the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy stuff. I watched the TV show, the British TV show. I haven't read the book, and I watched the movie, but I like the British TV show the most out of the movie.
I read the first book, so yeah,
it's so funny, so great.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that. My reason for bringing that up is because I wrote down the violinist plays on one string. But the violinist from the tail section just comes out and just starts acting like everything is normal, playing.
Well,
even though he sees the tail section revolting.
No, you're right. And I was wondering if maybe there was some kind of subplot to explain that, mind control, or something. But yet, no, nothing came of that. So yeah, that's very off.
It's off, but I only mainly cared about it this watch through. This is probably my third or fourth watch through of this movie. But you don't really need to worry about it because it's just the world of the film. They need to show you the train and how the train acts normally in order for you to understand and feel the story more.
Yeah.
So it's fine. It's fine.
Well, when they said that, we just need your hands, I thought they're gonna cut them off and put them on somebody else.
I thought maybe you did too because I was like, what? I don't remember. Are they gonna cut off his hands?
Yeah.
But also it's weird that he was playing on one string. I thought that was interesting.
Okay. Well, one string may have all maybe the that may have been the only violin they had. So.
Oh, one interesting part is right after this is I'm getting into the symbolism, I guess, of the movie. Curtis kills Tilda Swinton's character.
Yeah.
Because he's angry about Edgar dying. Because in the last scene, he chose to go after Tilda Swinton's character instead of saving Edgar because he thought that he could use Tilda Swinton's character to get to the front more easily.
Yes. Getting Tilda Swinton's character was more important than saving Edgar in that moment for the revolution.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which was a very hard decision.
Yeah.
But also kind of proved that he's a leader.
And that he's willing to sacrifice people for the greater good, which is what Curtis and Gilliam want out of him.
Yeah. Which is a beautiful, heartbreaking scene because obviously Edgar wants to live, but he knows that the mission is not for him to live. The mission is for them to go.
Yeah.
But I love, this isn't a tangent, but I love the buy-in we get from Curtis. Right off the bat, we're like, okay, this dude is not acting in his own self-interest. This man is a leader. And we get that from the start. When they're talking and Gilliam's talking, he's like, well, we don't know that they're out of bullets. And he just goes through the crowd and, puts the rifle right up against his head and presses the trigger.
Yeah, because if he's wrong, he wants to be the only one to be hurt from it. So he's willing to sacrifice himself for the greater good as well.
Yes, I'm getting goosebumps. I just love that.
That was a great sequence, and it was shot incredibly. Yeah, it was an incredible visual sequence.
Yeah, another great aspect of visual storytelling, and shout out to cinematographer Hong Kyung-hyo. I'm probably saying that badly, but I did my best. Amazing cinematographer that has worked on. Oh wow, he's worked on a lot of my favorite stuff.
Like what? Which one?
Well, I don't want to tell you because.
Okay. Well, I can just look them up.
Okay. What do
I
you
don't
mean?
know. I don't know which ones you say that you will pick.
Okay, what the movies I'm gonna show you by one of my favorite directors of all time.
Okay.
His name is Lee Chang-dong.
Okay.
And the movie that this guy shot, is Burning, which is
Okay.
one of my top favorite movies of all. Top 5 probably right now at least.
I think I might know about that movie.
Yes, you've
Okay.
talked about that movie to me before.
Okay. But I haven't seen it. I just know a clip from it.
Yes.
Okay.
And I'm gonna make you watch it.
Okay.
Oh, I love that movie so much.
Okay.
Anyways, he shot that movie. That's amazing. That's so cool.
That's great.
Anyways, shout out to that cinematographer.
Mm-hmm.
That scene with Curtis pointing, it's so great. Great.
Yeah.
Fantastic. And also, what a great, we're still I love the first act of this movie so much. The building of everything.
Yeah.
It's a great movie. I hope I'm not over talking about it.
I'm sure you're not.
Okay. Getting through my notes. I'm almost done with my notes. Again, I think we already touched on this point, but that aspect of Nam wanting to destroy the machine entirely versus Curtis wanting to rebuild the machine or rehabilitate the machine. That this machine can't be rehabilitated; it has to be destroyed. I just think is an interesting symbolic message. Yeah, and it could be capitalism, it could be whatever, consumerism. I don't know, not consumerism, but classism, whatever, what have you. It's interesting, it's beautiful, and it's well said in the movie.
Absolutely.
Anything you want to say that we haven't done?
No, I'm good. Yeah, it's a great movie.
You liked it?
Yeah, I'm glad I finally got to watch it. I'm glad you gave me an excuse to watch it.
Cool.
Yeah, it's worth it. It's worth a watch for sure. I enjoyed it. Yeah.
Okay. Again, lots of I'll just say again, Bong Joon-Ho does these big movies extremely well. And one more thing, I guess, the minor characters in this movie are another reason that makes it shine.
Okay.
Like we have the tattooed, non-speaking character who's like a ninja who like
I think his name is Gray.
Yeah.
Okay. Who watches out for Gilliam.
Yeah. And he's like surrender or die with his tattoo. That's
yeah. Cool. Yeah. I kind of wish we got more of that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Well, I think we got a lot of it in this movie.
Well, like him and that. So that's all. But it's also over 2 hours as it is. So, but it didn't feel slower at all. I thought it was very well paced. So
I felt it a little bit slower this time just because I've seen it and I know it's coming.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
I think the pacing is good and there's so much going on. But yeah.
Another thing is, I want to talk about is like how the sets must have been.
Yeah.
Because, it's set on a train, and so train cars, and so like just the amount of room that you have, just to act and all that other stuff. I was interested in that. So
that is an interesting. I wonder that's really interesting, because I think almost the whole movie, well, not all, the whole movie, but most of the movie, you're looking at the train from the right side of the train, which is just an interesting.
Well, it's also like how much of it is on the right side, or like there are on the right side because we can see the windows out. But then also like how wide is the train is what I'm asking.
Yeah.
How much room laterally do they have?
Yeah.
Because this isn't the only South Korean movie about a train.
Train to Busan.
Yeah. 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 Now, but they aren't always on the train in that one. But even so.
I'm not as big a fan of that.
Really?
Yeah, but Sierra loves that movie.
When it came to the ending, I was about to throw my shoe at the TV set. If it didn't have the happy ending it should have had. But it did. So I didn't break my TV. But I would have.
Be a shoe, Steven.
Is that where my place is? We don't wear a shoe on our head, so I shouldn't throw it at my TV.
Mm-hmm.
The zombie movie doesn't go the way I want it to be.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'll try to keep that in mind.
Size 10 chaos.
Well, I'm a size 14 wide.
Size 14 wide chaos.
That's me for sure.
Before you go, a special thank you to our bestest friend of the show, Brian. Thank you, Brian, for supporting Your Movie, My Movie. Now, if any of you would like to support the show, please check out our Patreon at patreon.com/yourmoviemymoviepodcast or leave us a review on whatever you're listening to us on. Thank you for listening, and thank you for your support. All right, I think that's good. That's a good ending.
Yeah, that's a good ending.
All right. Thanks for listening.
Yep. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Happy Thanksgiving. Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.